So we have done some quite a bit of doing something without running to test, but bear with me, we are getting there. Soon we will start also testing on our simulator. So let's do our last user interface, which is a CocoaTouch class. And this is going to be a table view cell, not collection view cell. So make sure you get this one right, UI table view cell. And this I'm going to call WeatherTableViewCell. Cancel. I forgot to click on an XIB, which is very important. We need a XIB file here. Let's generate this and we can design our cell. So you can see we were provided with this standard cell, and we need to change the size of our cell because our cell is going to be 60 points the height and the standard cell is 44 points. So I'll set this 60 points. Let's zoom in a little bit. So here we have one label on the left, one label on the right, and an image view in the middle. Quite simple. So let's just drag our label. We just change this font to be alright, color I will change later because it will be hard for us to set white text on a white background. So I'm going to set the font to Gill Sans. Let's copy and paste this, Command C, Command V, and this one will be on the other side. And let's align this on the right side. So I'm going to again use my measurements here to set this exactly where I want it. And then we will add our auto layout constraints. So the X I want 183. The Y should be 20. The width is 1 to 1. Height is 20 points. And for our first label here, let me check this. The X should be 16. The Y should be 20. The width 1 to 1 again. And the height is going to be 20. And finally, we need an image view, which is going to sit exactly in the middle. So I can use my auto layout constraints. And this is going to be 30 on 30. Let's drag this. Let me bring it into my view so I can drag this. So it's going to be exactly in the middle of my view. So this is quite easy to set. All right, let's start from this. So I'm going to set the constraints width and height to be fixed 30 points. And we want it to be in the middle of our view, so you can do this alignment horizontally and vertically in container and hit enter. Then we want to have this label here. Left should be 0 and right should be 8 points. I'll click connect, and we want to align this horizontally, vertically in the view, so it's exactly in the middle of our view. And the same thing we want to do with this label. So it's gonna be 8 points from our image and 0 points on the border, and it's gonna be vertically aligned in our view. So our user interface and auto layout constraints are set. I will select these two, shift select, and I'm going to change the font size to be white because our table view background will be black, so we want to see this in white color. And now we can select our view here so we can do our connections. So let's close this panel here and control click. So we open our assistant editor, and I'm going to use this area here so I can do my drag and connection here. So let's put a mark IB outlets, And the first label, which is the left one, is gonna be our day of the week. So you can see it's the name of the day of the week, and we have our clouds, and then we have our temperature. So the first label, I'm going to call this day of the week. Let's refactor this actually, and I forget to add the label on it. So it's gonna be day of the week label. Let's hit enter, and I want to make sure I have correct connections here. Let me just select this and check my connection tab. Yeah, so everything is correct. The second one is going to be our temperature label. Temp label. And then we have our image view, which is, let's connect this. And this is going to be our weather icon image view. Okay, we have our three views here, and we can close our assistant editor. And these two functions, we're not going to touch them. We are going to just create a function called generate cell. And this function is gonna take a weekly weather forecast. So we take a weekly weather forecast from our model, we provide it to this function, and it will create this information here. So let's put a parameter, forecast of type weekly weather forecast. Okay, so the day of the week label dot text is gonna be equals, and we access our forecast dot date, and now we need a function for our date to return only the day of the week. So since there are no any functions like this, we can go to our extensions where we have our date extension, and we can actually do one more thing, so we can receive the day of the week. So let's do it underneath here. So I say func and call this day of the week. So we know what it's gonna return, which is a type of string. And as usual, we need a date formatter and a date. And the only thing we are going to change here is the week date. Instead of hour and minute, the week date full name is 4 capital E's. So again, you can check these formats on Apple website, and not only if you just type on Google like different date formats, it will tell you what exact letters you need to put to get a specific outcome that you want. So once we get our weekdays here, we can build to get rid of our compiler problems. And now if I go back here, I can just say dot day of the week. So we have this function, and it will return only the day of the week for us. Then we say weather info image view dot image is equals, and again we can use our get weather icon for type function, and the icon name is actually our forecast dot weather icon. And you can just command click on it and jump to our weather forecast, weekly forecast, and you can see that we have this weather icon, which is a string which just keeps the name of our icon. So we just convert this to an image. I'm getting an error because my compiler doesn't really understand what's going on here, because it still remembers the old code. To fix this, Command Shift K, and this will clean your project, and this error will go away. And finally, we need the temp label.text to set equals to, and this needs a string. So I'm going to say for string interpolation here, of course, forecast.temperature, which is a double, so we convert it to a string so we can show it. And this way we have all our cells designed with their view controllers that will control their these designs, and with the functions that will we will provide them information and they will just generate these cells for us. So we are ready to proceed with our coding of our application.